please support him, my dude. The guy is phenomenal. Deserves all of the support.
This
I have
video
not watched the Punic Wars. He just released part 2 of the Punic Wars. Or not part 2, but rather, he just released the second Punic War. So I figured, while that one is, like, since I don't want to react too soon to that one, you know, because you got to give it time, like, for him to get, like, the views and the whatnots, as if I'm going to be stealing so many views from him or something, right? But that's the general rule that I've been seeing on the internet, and I want to abide by them, alright? Let's do it, my dudes! Please, please, please subscribe to Oversimplified. Why does my camera not want to work with me here? What are you doing? We cool? Okay, there we go. Go!
Is made possible by NordVPN. Click the link below and get an exclusive
Thank you, Nord,
deal
for making
with
this
a
all
huge
possible,
discount
dude.
and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Introducing our new, glorious, breathtaking bucket plushie. Limited
A
quantity.
bucket plushie,
available
freaking
now,
awesome.
Along with
If
some
you haven't
cool
watched
character
the
pins.
video
Buy
with the
them, or
freaking
I'll
bucket in
marry
it,
your mother.
the battle of the bucket,
It's your choice.
you won't get that reference, but that's a cool bucket.
Marcellus,
I want to get some of the pins,
a lot
dude.
of dignitas. Kiss me. Okay.
I got 99
Yeah.
problems,
Hi,
but
son, just
Rome
reading
ain't
the newspaper. What can I
one.
do for you? Well, you know how you always say
Yo,
Rome is the
the
greatest
background jokes in this are
civilization
amazing.
the world? It bloody well is. Well, I was just wondering, what makes us so great? How did we come to be? Wow, my son. Boy, let me take you on a journey. To this side of the room.
I'm gonna full on admit right now, I know jack squat about Rome.
The story of Rome begins with these beautiful baby boys going to town on some she-wolf mommy milkers. That's gross. You're gross!
That's how Rome started?
Sorry, son. You're not gross. I love you. They're called Romulus and Remus, and when they grew
Romulus
up in
and
753 BC, they
Royal
founded
names.
Rome. But there was just one problem. They couldn't agree on which of them should be the king. But they
Let's go with the guy with the sword. The guy with the sword should be the king because he's got the sword.
worked it out
My
peacefully,
vote is
right?
on the guy with the sword.
Oh, heavens no. Romulus caved Remus's skull in with a shovel. Here's a picture. Our first king committed fratricide?
That's the guy with the sword. That's the guy with the sword, right?
Oh.
I think that's the guy with the sword. I think that's the guy we voted for. I think that's that guy.
Dad.
I think we won.
Well, you see, at first Rome was full of men. I'm talking like a real sausage party.
Yeah!
Yes, sir. So we invited some neighboring
Buff boy
cities over for a
Rome.
big feast. And then we literally kidnapped all of their women. Here's a picture.
What, why? It was already perfect. What do you mean?
She's like,
Why?
this is messed up. You're messed up. Ugh. Sorry. I'll be a better father. I
Is that
promise.
really how they freaking did it, by the way?
Finally, after centuries of monarchy,
I guess-
those
yeah, I guess
tyrannical
they did.
kings
What the
started
frick?
getting a little
I'm about
too
to look
big
into
for
this
their
myself.
britches. So we overthrew the kings and established Rome as a republic. Is that when all the
Hey,
killing stopped?
nice.
No, that's when the killing surged, baby. We went wild and conquered
Let's
the
go!
Latins, the Samnites, the Etruscans. Woo! What a rush! Dad, Rome seems pretty barbaric. You're barbaric! Oh, I forgot to tell you about the time a prophet
Nah, bro, it's just a skill issue. Skill issue, Sadu.
told Saturn his son would one day overthrow
Get good.
him.
Rome got good.
So Saturn literally ate his own son seconds
Bro,
after
I'm
he
cheering
was
for Rome
born.
so far. They said,
I don't want to see a picture.
like, if I was playing Civilization 5 right now, I'd want to be on Rome's team.
That's messed up, man.
I feel like I'd want to be on their good side, you know, in case things go south.
If we were so uncivilized, would we use communal toilets where we all fart and poo together in one big stinky, steamy, dirty toilet room?
Yeah,
Dad.
child.
We would. Clean your butt
Oh.
with a sponge, Timulus. But all these guys just used it. What's wrong with your son, bro?
They
I
put the
don't wanna
sponge
be
on a
Roman.
stick?
This is so weird. You're weird. Sorry, you're not weird. I'm sure you're probably fine.
Oh, no!
The Roman Republic. A nation
Oh,
that, since its
dude, why
foundation,
don't I have a fancy graphic like that? Why does your freaking... Why does 3 minutes and 20 seconds into your video have better high quality graphics than my entire channel?
heading next all the way down the Italian peninsula. But this isn't the famous Roman Empire that ruled the known world.
Oh,
Not
no.
yet anyway. This is a relatively
Never mind, then. That's all I knew. That's pretty much all I knew at that point. All right, never mind.
juvenile Rome, still just a regional power. In 264 BC, the big daddy of the Western Mediterranean was Carthage. Let's rewind a bit.
Ooh.
Carthage was founded in 814 BC, when some Phoenicians in Tyre had a mega surplus of goods and decided to export those goods
Fried
across
fish,
the Mediterranean.
nice.
They became the dominant trading power in the region, and to support their growing trade network,
Heck yeah,
the
dude.
Phoenicians established a number of colonies.
Phoenicians.
One of which
Ooh, I love saying
was Carthage.
Phoenicians.
Therefore, Carthage began its
Let's
life
go
as a Phoenician
Phoenice.
trade
Oh,
colony,
Carthage.
and the
Let's go
Carthaginians
Carthage.
were actually Phoenicians.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a Latin-speaking Roman, they were Punic, hence the name of the video. Over the centuries,
Oh,
Carthage
that makes
gradually
sense now.
expanded and became
So the
region's
Phoenicians
base of
are the
power.
Carthaginians,
Just
are
like
the-
Rome,
are the
Carthage
Punics.
was a semi-democratic republic
Yeah.
with its own senate and judiciary. But there were also some pretty hefty differences between the two. While
Dude, I feel
Rome
like
was
such a big
into
boy. I'm
farming
drinking OJ
and
straight out
stabbing
of the
people in
box.
the neck,
Straight out of the
the Carthaginians, on the other hand, just like their Phoenician forefathers,
Yeah.
had built their power through trade and navigating the waves. They went here and
Carton,
there,
that's the word.
selling ivory tusks, gold,
I don't know if
and
anybody
slaves.
caught on. I couldn't
And
remember
as a result,
carton.
They
Car-
were
carton.
rolling in it. Whenever they weren't busy swimming around in their copious
I'm
hordes,
sorry, what was happening?
selling ivory tusks, gold, and slaves. And as a result,
They sold
they
ivory tusks,
were
gold, and
rolling in it.
slaves.
Whenever they weren't busy swimming around in their copious hordes of money, in their
Phoenicians?
spare time, they also possibly enjoyed sacrificing their children to Baal, the god.
Their
Let
children?
me just check my notes. Ah,
Baal?
yes. Plant fertility. Oh boy, these figs aren't looking too hot. Maybe if I throw my son into a burning pit of fire, they'll grow. Have you tried watering them, Dad?
Then again, try it, and if it fails, it's one less mouth to feed.
No, we'll try that second. As a result of all their trading, Carthage had emerged as one of the Mediterranean's superpowers. But wait, they said. Rome? What the heck is that? Well, I know it's a pretty obscure little
Oh, they
country
don't know
that
what Rome
you've
is?
probably never heard of.
Never
But
heard
this
of it, man.
spunky young nation was about to upset the entire region's balance of power. Initially,
I heard the food was
two
good.
sides enjoyed relatively friendly relations, and it even signed a couple
they got, like, a
treaties.
really good
But
soccer
it was
field.
a relationship that was
Sorry,
practically
football.
destined to turn sour. See, Rome had a thing.
Or something
where
like that.
liked
They got,
to
like, a really cool,
aggressively
like,
expand
soccer
their
field or
boundaries,
something like that.
often viewing such expansion as a defensive
So it made of
act.
stone and broken
Kinda
or
like when
something?
you kill your neighbor, because you knew eventually they would have tried to kill you first.
Yeah!
Meanwhile, Carthage
I
was
gon' get
extremely
you.
protective of its wealthy trade network. So if you put a very strategically important island between them, well, 2 + 2 = war. Tensions rose, and the two sides began viewing each other
Easiest
with
freaking war, let's
increasing
go!
disdain. The hardworking
What's up,
Romans
Mario?
looked across the water at the money-hungry Carthaginians
baby?
and said,
Who you
"Look
barking
at
at?"
those dishonest crooks.
Sorry, everyone.
Bet they've never done an honest day's
Maybe,
work in
maybe.
their lives." And the Carthaginians looked
Maybe,
back and
maybe.
said, "Look at those simple-minded brutes. Bet they've never sacrificed a baby in their
Sorry, I
lives."
gotta negotiate with him,
Yeah.
otherwise he's gonna keep barking.
While war between the two superpowers seemed inevitable, the event that finally triggered it was a little unexpected. The whole thing began with a few simple mad lads on a wild night out. These mad
In
lads
Messana?
are called the Mamertines. They were Italian mercenaries employed by the tyrant of Syracuse. Here, but when he died, his successor said, "Sorry fellas, we don't need any big burly men with sharp sticks anymore. You can all go home." The Mamertines, as it turned out, didn't want to go home. So instead, they went to the nearby town of Messana and said, "Hey man,
So
we
these
are
are
but
mercenaries.
poor little buff boys without a home. May we come in?" Aw, poor fellas. Sure thing. Just so long as you promise not to massacre all of us. We promise. The Mamertines then massacred all of them. Well, not all of
Why?
them, just the men. And they stole their homes and families. Ha! This is my
Bros for real said, "I've been on this job for too long, I ain't going back home."
house now. This is my best dad ever mug now. And you guys are my new family. Son, wanna go play catch with your old papa? You're not my real dad! Ugh, teenagers. Am I right, dear? You're not my real husband! Ugh, I'm so trapped in this marriage. Then get out! No, Messana was now
Dude, dating was so much easier back then!
controlled by the Mamertines, and they began raiding up and down the Syracuse coastline. When the new ruler of Syracuse saw this, he wasn't happy. The Syracusans began fighting back, and in response, the Mamertines said, "Oh crap, they're fighting back?
No,
What do we
duh!
do?" Quick!
You
we'll
pricks,
convince
you're
the
freaking-
Carthaginians to come and save us. Oh no! We're in trouble. And we need a
Are these guys
big,
gonna start the
strong
entire
empire
freaking
to
war?
Come and rub our bellies. Why are you saying it like that?
What, by getting
If I was a
Carthage
big, strong
involved?
empire,
So how does Rome
I
come
think
into it?
I'd like to be seduced. See? It's working.
Wait, but why do
Carthaginians
they
had
wanna
long
help?
dreamed of controlling all of Sicily. They had been fighting Syracuse and their Greek
Oh.
influence on the island for centuries. And now, here was a great opportunity to get one over on
Just
them.
take all of
so
Messana?
Carthage promptly answered the Mamertine's cry for help and sent a force to
Damn, that's all
garrison
theirs
Messana.
now. Okay,
As
I
it
see.
turned out, however, some within the ranks of the Mamertines weren't too happy with the occupying Carthaginians, and they sent out a second cry
How
for
dare
help
you
to
occupy
Rome.
us after we
When
occupy
it
this
reached
place?
the Roman Senate, they were a little more hesitant. Going to help the
I'm
Mamertines ran the
surprised.
risk of triggering an all-out war with Carthage, and they had only just finished conquering the Italian peninsula, so they were kind of tired. Plus, the Mamertines were all the way across the water. They had never made a leap like that before. So you would assume
Oh, so
that
this
to
is
avoid
early,
any conflict
early
with
Rome.
Carthage, the exhausted Romans would probably
I
sit
love the
this one out.
consulate here in
But
Rome.
you would assume wrong. Rome just couldn't resist a good chance for war. Why? Well, there's something you gotta understand about Rome. See, as a republic, they were hell-bent on preventing
They had
any one man
gladiators.
from ever gaining too much power. And so rather than having one leader, Rome had two, called consuls, who shared power. These consuls
that's
could also
cool.
only serve for 1 year at a time before new consuls were
Hey.
elected. These measures to limit the powers of the consuls were
Why don't
noble,
we do like
but
somewhere
had
in
an
between,
interesting
like
side
2
effect.
years?
The
instead?
consuls knew they had just 1 year to try and gain as much glory
Like 4
and
years is
prestige
too
as
much.
possible. Something
1
that
year's
was
not
very
enough.
important in
Like
Roman
2 years.
society. And the
We should
best
try
way
2
of gaining
years.
glory and prestige? Military victory, of course. The Roman political system.
These
basically ended
politicians
up
get too
encouraging
comfortable
these
thinking they're gonna be
consuls
okay
to
for
go
8
out
years. Get
and
out of
be as
here, 8
aggressive
years.
as your Italian grandmother. when
Fix
you
it
don't
in
eat all
2
the
years or
spaghetti.
get out!
And so the glory-seeking consuls convinced the people to vote in favor of going to Messana.
Yeah!
And in they went. Upon the arrival of the Romans, the Carthaginians in the city, amongst the confusion, were forced to leave. Now, in contrast to Roman aggression, the Carthaginian military
Oh, they just
had a slightly
bounced.
different
Okay, cool.
philosophy. All right, kids, listen up. If you want to grow up to be Carthaginian military leaders, there's a few things
Bro, that
you
was
have
easy.
to understand. If you fail to succeed on the
killed the
battlefield,
last of my OG.
that's a crucifixion. Showing cowardice, that's a crucifixion. Hello, sir. What are you doing here? Aren't you meant to be in Messana? Yeah, but the Romans showed up. So you just left? Sure did. Oh, you better believe that's a crucifixion.
Oh, that's harsh, bro.
The Roman consuls were awarded for victory, and therefore tended to be aggressive go-getters. By contrast, the Carthaginian generals were brutally punished for failure, and so they tended to be more cautious and restrained.
Yeah, I
This
ain't trying to get in
dynamic
trouble.
is helppful
I'm gonna
for
end up up
understanding
there with
some
this
of the
dude.
crazy
Nah,
things that
screw that.
happened during the Punic Wars. So, the Romans
At
had
that
crossed
point, I
over to
would
Messana,
hate to be,
and now
like-
there was some red on the island.
I'd hate to be
Hit that panic
promoted.
button. This turn of events was unacceptable to both Carthage and Syracuse, so the traditional enemies teamed up to kick the Romans off their island. They surrounded the city and said, "Hey, you jerks! This isn't your island! Come out of there at once!"
Bro was like, no, we're involved now. I'm sorry, this is
See,
mine.
Phil, you just gotta
This
speak
was
with
always mine.
authority.
It's mine
That's
now.
what being an alpha male's all about.
That bit
Amen.
over there is your bit. This is my bit.
Oh, you brought your weapons and armor? No, I didn't mean... Oh, crap. Out the Roman legions came to engage the Carthaginians in battle, and they sent them packing.
Yeah.
With the Battle of Messana, whether intended or not, by going to help the Mamertines, the two sides had just slipped into an all-out war.
Oh, by a bunch of prick mercenaries who
With the
just
initial
decided to
Roman victory,
slaughter a bunch of dudes
towns
and take
across
over their
Sicily, including
wives.
Syracuse,
Their
began
lives.
switching allegiance because
Live
being a
lives.
winner is more
White
fun.
lives.
But the Carthaginians weren't about to just give up that easily. In 262 BC, they began building up their forces at Agrigentum. So the Romans, being aggressive
Oh, they're gonna
go-getters,
go for it, go
aggressively
for it.
got them. The Romans immediately laid siege, hoping to starve out the Carthaginian garrison. However, because
it's
this
over.
was the first time Rome had been fighting outside the Italian peninsula, across the water, they struggled to supply their forces. And before long, the Romans were as starving as the Carthaginians they were besieging. They had to forage
Yeah, but they
for
could- yeah,
food,
but they could go
leaving
get
it open
food.
to ambush. And when Carthaginian
that's true.
reinforcements arrived, creating a double siege, things
Oh, that
got really
sucks.
bad. Everybody starved each other for
Oh,
months.
it's over.
until
They're
nobody
screwed
could
now.
take it anymore, and they all finally came out for battle.
See. Back in the
Double
old times,
things.
like when it came to like war, like if you were on the outside circle, typically that means you won. I know a lot about
really
this. I
bad.
read books on it.
Everybody starved each other for months until nobody could take it anymore, and they all finally came out for battle, which Rome
What the war
won.
happens?
Here's the report from the recent siege at Agrigentum. So,
Nice.
We killed 30,000 while only suffering 7,000 losses? That's amazing! We're the best! Yes, sir. Whoops, those are the wrong way around. What? We lost 30,000? We're the worst! But we won, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But we also got our asses kicked. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So are we the best or the worst? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
the Romans won at Agrigentum because they were aggressive go-getters, and they now began eyeing up the
Hey,
possibility of conquering
it doesn't matter how much resources you throw at it. You win that war. I'm joking.
the entire island. But they also suffered very heavy losses, and it was clear they couldn't sustain a campaign if they couldn't supply their troops. Here's
True
the issue.
though.
Sicily was an
Big
island.
boys gotta eat.
Islands are surrounded by water. A strong
Yeah.
navy would be vital for supplying troops and winning the war.
Isn't that just the
Here
worst
was
part about
Carthage's
islands?
navy, and here was Rome's. I think you can see the problem.
Historians debate just how much naval experience Rome had at this
Bro had a
point.
lot of junk in the trunk.
Presumably, they must have had something to defend their shoreline. But whatever it was, it would have paled in comparison to
Oh,
the
those are some
Carthaginian
cool shit.
juggernaut. And so Rome had to figure out exactly what to do about all this water.
Come on, men. We're not gonna let some pansy candy-ass water get in the way of our glorious victory against Carthage. Charge!
Yeah!
Tell my kids I love them.
But not my
We're
wife.
gonna
Screw
need
that.
a bigger boat. What's a boat? I don't know. If the Romans wanted to win this war and obtain Sicily,
what?
there was only one thing for them to do. I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and build ourselves a war fleet, aren't we? From scratch? From scratch.
Yeah, let's
we
do
don't
it.
even know how.
Never mind how to fight with one. Don't worry, Hank. We're up to the challenge.
Come on, guys. We're Romans.
with the worm?
And Romans aren't afraid of anything.
And so, the Romans worked long and hard
Okay.
trying to figure out how on earth you actually
They really
built
got a
the latest
fish
style
on
of
the
warship.
freaking card.
In the end, they had a bit of luck on their side. A Carthaginian quinquereme ended up accidentally grounding on Italian soil. The Romans
the
found
big
it
boy.
and copied the design. While the new fleet was being built, the Romans trained rowers on
Wow.
land. And would you believe it? The Romans put together a full
Bro,
fighting fleet
bros are
of
on the
120
main character
warships
vibes, while the rest of
in
us are
just
NPCs.
2
dude.
months. A staggering feat.
Really just gave him a
Now,
boat.
I know what you're thinking, but oversimplified. If the Romans can build a war fleet from scratch in 2 months, then why does it take you half a year to make a video? Well, my valued subscriber, I think you should shut up. What the heck? How on earth did the Romans learn how to build a war
Bro, I know
fleet?
that feel.
This shouldn't be happening. From what I hear, they copied the design from us, sir. Well, how on earth did they get the blueprint, Carl? I don't know, sir. But I'll tell you what. If
They
you're
found it
worried
on the
about people
beach.
stealing your data, no, and you want to protect yourself from outside threats, don't you dare. Then you, my friend, if you mention NordVPN, I'll scream. Should use NordVPN.
Yeah!
Do you like corporations knowing everything about you and then selling your data to advertisers
I
that convince you
hate
to
it.
buy things you don't need in an endless cycle over and over until you die? Me neither. And that's why
Didn't
I
Google
use
just get hit too?
NordVPN. NordVPN allows you to connect to super fast
Check
secure
your stuff.
servers
Google got
all
hit, by
around
the way, if
world,
you're a YouTuber.
encrypting your IP address to protect your online data from undesirable eyes. That means you can look at all the squatty potties you want, and no one will know. With NordVPN, you can search for better online deals in other territories and unlock content not available in your country. NordVPN now comes with a threat protection function and much more. And if you don't like it, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to nordvpn.com/oversimplified to get an exclusive deal with a huge discount. That's
Nice.
nordvpn.com/oversimplified.
I actually got NordVPN's 3-year
And as
plan,
always, you'll be
and it was really
supporting
good
my
when I
channel.
had it. I'm not gonna lie.
So thank you. Now, where were we?
Had no issues
Oh,
with
yeah.
had no issues with
The
it.
siege at
Speeds
Agrigentum,
didn't really get
supply
impacted that
issues,
much.
And building
Pretty good, pretty good.
a war fleet. So now the Romans have a navy, and it's time to put it to the test. But how does one wage ancient naval warfare? Easy. All of the ships had giant bronze rams on the front, so all you had to do was outmaneuver the enemy and give him the jimmies. Easy as pie. And so the aggressive Romans set out.
Oh, so
for
that's
some
like
good
naval
old-fashioned
warfare before
jimmy giving.
cannons and
The
stuff.
consul,
Nice.
Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio, set out for the town of Lipara.
So you
believing
had
the
to
garrison
really
wanted
be
to join
good at
the
maneuvering
Romans.
with
As
like
he
the
entered
wind and
harbor,
stuff,
however,
to get like the
he
right
found himself
speed to
trapped
hit.
by a Carthaginian fleet.
Oh, but then again, they
And in the
got
following
rowers too,
skirmish,
you know, to help
he was
out a little bit.
completely outmatched. The Romans may have had a brand new fleet,
Oh, they got
but when it
wrecked.
came to engaging in actual combat, their inexperience showed. There was just something better about the Carthaginian ships. The Carthaginian rowers had nicer abs. The entire Carthaginian Empire had been built on expert seamanship. So, when it came to water, the Carthaginians were better, and the Romans were wetter. In their initial
wetter.
skirmish, the Romans were beaten so badly that the consul, Scipio,
Hey, if
was
I
given
saw
a
those
nickname,
muscly
Asina.
rowers,
And
I'd
if
be
you're
wetter
wondering
too.
what that means, just drop the Ina. So what were the
Asina.
Romans to do? How could they possibly stand up to this Carthaginian superpower? Well,
Can you two get mad at me
there's
for saying
something you gotta
Asina?
understand about
I
the
wanna
Romans.
know.
Back when they found that Carthaginian ship and copied its design, that wasn't a one-off thing. Copying their enemies was as Roman as punishing murderers by sewing them into a leather pouch with a monkey, snake, and rooster, and then throwing them into a river, which is a thing they did. Wait.
For the
what was I
crime
talking
of
about?
being a lazy
Oh,
bones.
yeah. Copying their enemies. Many of the most famous Roman inventions were actually borrowed. Aqueducts, chariot racing, their gods. Even in warfare, the Romans would get pierced by a Sabine javelin, and they'd be like, wow. They'd get hacked to bits by an Iberian sword, and they'd be like, wow. And
Oh,
they'd
dude, you
copy
cut
the
that real
designs
good.
for themselves. However, they wouldn't just copy it. They would advance it, finding ways to adapt it as perfectly
Whoa.
as possible. And in
Bro,
the
swing
case
around
of
like a
naval
ninja. Y'all
warfare,
couldn't see that,
the
but he was
Romans
cool.
realized
He was cool
if
with
they
it.
wanted to beat the Carthaginians at their own game, they would have to adapt. The Romans excelled
you
at
gotta flip the
combat on
script on
land, not on water. But what if, they said, we could somehow turn a sea battle into a land battle? Sounds
Board
crazy,
them.
right?
Put a
Well,
bunch of
they
ropes
made
on
a
the
couple
things
of
and
tweaks to
swing onto
warship,
their boats.
And look,
Or
here
put
they
a
come
giant
again.
ladder on it. Yeah, you can
They
do that
must
too.
love getting their asses kicked. Sir? What's that toll thing sticking out of their ships?
They really are idiots. Look at that thing. That'll make them blow over. I mean, look at.
Is that just a ginormous spike they're gonna like stab into them?
Get your camera out.
Like those little robots in the robot battles? Just freaking smacking them over and over again with it like a hammer?
Let's just add a big wooden tower to our ship that'll weigh us down and blow us over in the wind. I mean, what does that thing even do?
Oh, it's a bridge! Okay, yeah! The bridge all the way, baby!
Had built a big swinging spiked gangway called the Corvus. So when
The
the Carthaginian
Corvus.
ships approached to ram them, the Romans would just slam them. The Carthaginians tried going around. No problem. The Corvus could swivel. Try going behind.
It has a
the Romans
swivel.
would huddle to the coastline. It
Bro, now
was
that's ingenuity.
foolproof. Those big, sexy Carthaginian rowing muscles could flex all they want, but they were no match for the Roman mind. So ladies, you see,
Yeah!
what really matters is what's on the inside. Please go out with me. And with that, the Romans,
Yeah, I got a lot of
who had
smartphones,
only
ladies.
just recently began dabbling in the art of naval combat, thanks to their ingenious Corvus, had just managed to outclass the Mediterranean seafaring superpower. The Carthaginians were stunned, and the general in charge of the defeated Carthaginian fleet, well, you better believe
poor Hannibal.
that's a crucifixion. With their newfound control of the seas, the Romans could now more easily blockade coastal cities and supply their legions on land. Surely, the Romans were now free
'cause they could
to
just put
unleash
back
their
themselves
aggression
up onto the city,
all
huh?
over the island. Haha! Hey Carthaginians, what are you gonna do now that we're free to rampage across the island? We're gonna go inside these walls and close this gate. Oh, come on, guys. Stop messing around. Come out so we can kill you. No. Oh, come on. No.
Like, if they have farms inside there, I don't think it'll be a big
To
problem.
counter the new Roman supremacy, the Carthaginians decided to engage in a defensive war of attrition, forcing the Romans to engage in siege. After lengthy siege, the war in Sicily became a long, hard, back-and-forth slug. One by one, cities slowly fell as the Romans gained ground. Occasionally, the Carthaginians countered and even pushed them back, only for the Romans to rebound again. And whenever a city did finally fall, the Romans could delight in slaughtering the entire population and selling any survivors into slavery, which was pretty standard procedure at the time. In general,
so it's just
the campaign
everywhere,
on
no
land
matter what.
was
All right,
progressing
well, there you
much
go.
slower than the Romans had hoped, and quite frankly, they were getting sick of it. So in 256 BC, they decided that something had to change. Hey everyone, my name's Marcus Attilius Regulus, and I'll be one of your
Regulus?
consuls.
Look
for
at that
this year.
chin!
Look, as I'm sure you all know, Sicily's being a bit of a drag. Sure, I could go and spend my entire year as consul besieging one single city, but they'll never make a naked statue of me for that. So
True,
here's
though.
the new plan. I'm gonna skip Sicily entirely, take my army, and go right for the heart of Carthage itself. I'll slaughter the men, enslave all the women and children.
Let's
And when
forget
I
that. There's
return,
no point. There's
you
no
will
point.
all build 1,000 naked statues of me.
Bro said I'm gonna go for a Holy Mary.
Marcus, that women and children stuff, that seems pretty evil and barbaric. No, Jim, it's perfectly normal in the ancient world. Sometimes we even chop their pets in half.
Really? Why?
Okay, guys, looks like the Romans are coming.
Hold on, one quick sec. Let me freaking. Puppy had a shoe. I'm back. Puppy had a shoe. I got it. He got it. Grab the shoe. Give him a toy. We go. Go.
Straight for us this time. And what will they do when they get here? They'll kill us all. They'll massacre each and every last one of us. They may even chop our pets in half. That's barbaric!
No!
Rob, it's
What are the
actually
odds that I had to
pretty normal
go
for the
look at my
time.
dog
We
at
do
that
the
moment?
same thing. Who'll protect us? Funny you should ask, Mary. That's kind of why I called this meeting.
Oh, nice.
Who will protect us? Protect our families, our homes, our children. You guys? Ha! Don't make me laugh. Why, you're just a bunch of stupid and weak farmers. Simple-minded buffoons. Cowards. Fools. Rob here thinks enslaving women and children is barbaric. You're a snowflake, Rob.
Snowflake.
Yes, you are. The
Yeah,
fact
Rob.
is, if the Romans manage to land on African soil, we're all gonna die. A terrifying, hideous, unspeakably painful death.
Is he supposed to be inspiring people here?
Is that the end of that speech? Yes. The Carthaginians had to stop the Romans from ever landing in Africa because they believed that would be the end. So as the Romans were building an
Oh, so
invasion
they
fleet,
full
the
on,
size
like-
of which the world had never seen before, the Carthaginians were preparing an even bigger one to stop them. And in 256 BC, as the Roman invasion
So it's a
fleet
matter
made
of
its
don't
way
let 'em
south,
touch home
the
base.
stage
Got it.
was set for a humongous battle that saw 680 warships, around 300,000 men, fighting to decide the course of the war. To this day, the Battle of Cape Egnomus remains possibly the largest naval battle in human history, all the way back
Really?
in ancient times. So the next time your granddad tells you about the
Well,
time
yeah,
he
there's
sank a
only so
Japanese
many
aircraft
like
carrier,
people you would fit in
kick
a
him in the
boat, right? You
nuts.
need
The
as
Romans
much.
had a lot riding on this battle.
Nowadays,
They weren't
we have
just
a lot of
sending their
firepower
warships,
on one
but
boat.
transports as well, full of supplies and horses for their invasion of Africa. They therefore
Oh,
formed a
yeah.
protective wedge-like formation to punch through the long, thin
They
Carthaginian
would have to take a
line.
bunch of extra
The
boats for that.
Carthaginian generals, however, desperate to prevent the Romans from reaching Africa, had a plan of their own. As the Roman fleet approached, the Carthaginian center feigned a retreat, luring the Romans in so their outstretched flanks could envelop them and get around the Roman corvus. A clever plan, But with such a huge battle and so many ships crowded together, the Carthaginians struggled to maneuver as hoped. And in the chaos, 3 separate battles emerged across the huge battle space.
They full on dropped the ball. They lost 4 men. They wrecked everything.
Number of ships limiting their ability to maneuver. The
Oh, so they just ditched the food fleet there.
And all the Romans had to do was
see if the Carthaginians were smart. If the Carthaginians were smart, they would have bailed. They would have retreated. And possibly even, like, double back and rammed the freaking food. You know, the store, like, go after the food. They gotta make a return trip at that point.
Wing it. The Roman center came out
It's not a matter, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even a matter of, like, you don't gotta win the war. Like, you just gotta get close enough to fire some arrows that are, like, on fire or
was
something.
a Roman victory.
Top with, like, tree sap. You don't really like that. Bro, that was sick. Great video. Phenomenal, my dude. Please go subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff on Oversimplified. Phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal, dude. Great.
Ayoo, be sure to join the crew. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And hey, if you like that video, you should check out this stuff.